Hi, this is Richard Chamberlain. Welcome back to the Protecting Your Family's Future podcast. This is episode number 119. Today, we're going to be talking about whether or not a trust will protect your assets. We get that question sometimes when people come in and talk to us. They say they want a trust and they want to protect their assets from creditors or from nursing home spend down. And the answer to the question is yes, a trust will protect your assets from your creditors, but not all trusts will protect your assets from your creditors. The difference is the type of trust that you have or that you are getting. The typical kind of trust that people will have that they set up to avoid probate or to protect their beneficiaries, we talk about them a lot on this podcast. That is a revocable living trust. And that trust will not protect your assets from your creditors. The other kind of a trust that people will create is an irrevocable trust. That is an asset protection trust, or it can be set up that way, and it will protect your assets from your creditors. The difference between those two trusts and the reason why one will protect your assets and one will not is because in the revocable trust, you have the power of control over the assets that are in the trust. You're typically going to be the trustee of that trust. You have the power to put assets into the trust. You have the power to withdraw the assets from the trust or to require the trustee to distribute the assets to you. Now, your creditors have the same rights to your assets that you do. If they have a judgment against you, they can compel you to take assets out of a trust if you have the right to take the assets out. So the assets that are in the revocable trust, you have the power to use those how you see fit, and so they are available for your creditors. In the irrevocable trust, you typically do not have the power to uh, demand that the assets be given to you. In fact, that's why it's designed that way as an asset protection trust. You're typically not going to be the trustee of that trust, and you do not have the power to require the trustee to give that to you. And in fact, usually the trustee doesn't have the ability to give the assets to you from that irrevocable trust. And so that's where the asset protection comes in. In a revocable trust, there is no asset protection for you. You can design it so that there is asset protection for your beneficiaries. In the irrevocable trust, there is asset protection for you and for your beneficiaries if you design it that way. So it's important to really understand why you are creating a trust. Are you creating it for probate avoidance and protecting your beneficiaries, or are you creating it to protect your assets from your potential creditors? The type of trust that you set up will be determined by your answer to that question. So I hope that's helpful for you today. If you have any questions about setting up your own estate plan, if you're in Ohio or in Michigan, we can help you. Our contact information is in the show notes, and we'll see you again next week. Thanks.